Good day everyone, I'm Erica Jane M. Ramos from the TED 2D. So in this video, I will answer the following questions in Activity 1. So let's start. So the first one is, what are the major components of an open loop system? How does this type of control system differ from closed loop system? Describe how each of the components of the open loop system might function for a person who is tossing an empty soft drink can into a recycling bin. In a tension control loop system, there are three primary elements. The first one is the controller, the second one is the torque device or the brake, clutch, or drive, and the third one is the feedback sensor. An open loop control system acts completely on the basis of input and the output has no effect on the control action. While a closed loop control system considers the current output and alters it to the desired condition. So when the empty soft drink can is being tossed in a recycling bin, it can correct itself because open loop system has no feedback. The second one is, how do we know that motor programs exist? Discuss two of the three types of research evidence that suggest support for the motor program motion. How does each illustrate the individual plans their movements in advance? So, exhibits of motor programs definition includes the following. The processing of apparent information or the feedback is too slow to control the fast movement continuously. With increasing complexity of movement, the reaction time or the time between go signal and the initiation of movement increases. A number of subroutines arranged to execute the movement correctly. The Cricket Shot motor software saves subroutines, for example, in the right order: stance, grip, feet placement, backswing, and the follow-through. The third question is, how do humans produce novel movements? Are such movements really new? Provide an example of a novel movement that might be produced by a shuffleboard player, a professional golfer, an airplane pilot, or a wheelchair basketball player. Filters or filter form. Study, performance, and exercise of human movement in sport in particular. The three principal approaches for analysis of the biochemics of sports movements are movement phases, free body diagrams, and deterministic models. Variability implies a stable performance of the organism's outcome. A good example will be to shoot a basketball in several ways. Variability is called the reorganization of the components, muscles, and joints according to task. And the last one is, what is the generalized motor program? Indicate how this concept allows us to explain the way performers adjust their movements to meet different sets of environmental demands. Using the example you selected in the previous questions, explain how the generalized motor program might function to promote the performer's novel movement. It is assumed that a general engine program with similar invariant characteristics such as sequence order, relative time, and relative power will be the basis for the generation of movement sequences within a class movements. You can learn through movement, learning that emphasizes the importance of movement experiences in the whole person's social, mental, intellectual, and physical growth. Movement learning is a learning form which concentrates on improving physical and motor health movement in learning. So that's all. Thank you for listening.